The sun rises. A new day dawns on the sleepy fishing village. The air is thick with salt and anticipation. On the shore, an old man prepares his weathered boat. His name is Santiago. Santiago's face is a roadmap of time, etched with deep lines from years spent battling the sea. His eyes, though, glimmer with an unwavering resolve. He believes in today. He must. Santiago hoists his patched sail, the worn fabric a testament to countless voyages. Today the old man carries the weight of 84 days without a catch, but hope, much like the sea itself, runs deep within him. He pushes off from the shore, the old boat creaking in protest. He is alone, yet not entirely alone. The memory of past failures fades with each push of the oars, replaced by a quiet determination. He will find his prize today. He can feel it. Back on the shore, a young boy watches the old man disappear into the vast expanse. Marlin. His name echoes in the gentle lapping of the waves against the shore. His heart aches with a mixture of worry and admiration for the old fisherman. Theirs is a bond forged in the crucible of shared experience, of salty winds and the unpredictable moods of the sea. Marlin knows the sting of disappointment that clouds Santiago's brow. He has witnessed the old man's struggle. He remembers the days when Santiago would return with the boat laden with fish, his laughter echoing across the water. Those days seem a distant memory now, lost to the relentless passage of time and the sea's fickle favor. But Marlin also remembers the lessons learned. He remembers the stories whispered under the starlit sky, tales of resilience and the unwavering spirit of a fisherman. He remembers Santiago's unwavering belief in the sea's generosity. It is this belief that he clings to now. The vast ocean stretches before Santiago, a shimmering expanse that mirrors the infinite expanse of his hope. He has known the sea's harsh indifference for 84 long days. 84 days of empty nets and a gnawing hunger. But Santiago does not curse the sea. He understands its rhythm, its capricious nature. He speaks to it in hushed tones, whispers carried on the salt-laden breeze. Words of respect, of understanding, of unwavering faith. His hands, calloused and gnarled, move with the practiced grace of a lifetime spent wrestling with the ocean's bounty. He baits his hooks, each movement imbued with a quiet reverence for the lifeblood that sustains him. The sun climbs higher, casting an unforgiving glare on the still water. Still, Santiago persists. His hope, much like the line he casts into the depths, remains taut, unbroken. The sea, as if stirred from a slumber, begins to churn. Santiago feels a tug on his line. A tremor of anticipation runs through his weary muscles. This could be it. This could be the moment he has been waiting for. He leans back, bracing himself against the pull. The line sings a high-pitched whine as something powerful fights for its freedom beneath the surface. The old man holds firm, his spirit ignited with a renewed fire. The battle is far from over. Santiago knows this. But in this moment, as the sun dips towards the horizon, casting long shadows across the water, he feels a glimmer of hope. A hope born of perseverance, of an unshakable bond with the sea, and the unwavering belief that every new dawn brings the promise of a new beginning. The fight is just beginning. But today, Santiago fights not just for a fish, but for his dignity, for his legacy, and for the faith of a young boy watching from the shore.
Santiago is seated in his small boat, gripping the fishing line tightly. The vast, empty ocean stretches endlessly around him. Santiago softly speaks to himself. It's a big one, bigger than I imagined. The boat tilts slightly as the fish pulls harder. Santiago adjusts his grip and braces himself against the movement of the boat. Through clenched teeth, Santiago says, "You're strong, my friend, but I'm stronger." He ties the line around the boat to relieve some of the strain. Sweat drips from his forehead as he steadies himself. Whispering, Santiago says, "I'll fight you for as long as it takes." The shadow of the enormous Marlin beneath the surface circles slowly but powerfully. The sun sets over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the water. Santiago is still gripping the line, his hands raw and bloody. His face is exhausted but determined. Looking at the horizon, Santiago says, "The stars will be out soon. They'll keep me company." He shifts uncomfortably, trying to ease the pain in his back and hands. He drinks a small sip of water from a flask. To the fish, Santiago says, "You're my brother, you know. We're both struggling, but only one of us can win." The Marlin pulls again, nearly jerking Santiago off balance. He lets out a grunt of effort as he regains control. His trembling hands hold the line steady. Santiago wakes up briefly, slumped over in his boat. The line is still taut and the Marlin continues to fight. The rising sun reflects off the water. Santiago straightens himself, wincing in pain. To himself, Santiago says, "Another day. You're a worthy opponent, my friend." The Marlin suddenly leaps out of the water, its massive body gleaming in the sunlight. Santiago's awe and admiration are evident as he sees the size and beauty of the fish. Whispering, Santiago says, "Magnificent." Determined, he tightens his grip on the line. The Marlin swims powerfully as Santiago's weathered face fills with resolve.
You're mine now.
With a final pull, Santiago secures the Marlin alongside the boat. He looks at it with both admiration and sadness.
You're the greatest I've ever caught. I'll honor you, my brother.
Santiago begins the long journey back to shore, paddling slowly.
I knew you'd come.
The shark attacks the Marlin, tearing a chunk of flesh. Santiago grabs his harpoon and strikes the shark with precision. Blood spreads into the water and the shark retreats.
Leave him alone.
The old man watches the blood in the water, knowing it will attract more predators. He sighs and continues rowing. Santiago fights off several sharks with improvised weapons. His harpoon is lost, and he uses an oar and a knife tied to the end of a broken mast. Despite his efforts, the sharks strip the Marlin to its bones.
I've gone too far.
Santiago's boat drifts slowly under the fading light of the setting sun.
I knew you'd come.
The shark lunges at the Marlin, tearing a chunk of flesh. Santiago grabs his harpoon and strikes the shark with precision. Blood spreads into the water and the shark retreats. Santiago fights off several sharks with improvised weapons. His harpoon is lost, and he uses an oar and a knife tied to the end of a broken mast. Despite his efforts, the sharks strip the Marlin to its bones. Santiago collapses in exhaustion, his face filled with defeat.
I've gone too far.
The camera lingers on the Marlin's skeleton, gleaming white against the darkening water. Santiago's boat drifts slowly under the fading light of the setting sun. Santiago finally reaches the shore. He stumbles out of the boat, dragging his gear behind him. The villagers notice the massive skeleton tied to the side of his boat and gather around, whispering in amazement.
Look at the size of it.
Another villager, equally amazed, turns to his companion.
He caught it alone?
Santiago doesn't respond. He walks silently back to his shack, his body exhausted, but his spirit unbroken. The camera follows him as he collapses onto his bed, staring at the ceiling.
A man can be destroyed, but not defeated.
The camera pans out, showing the quiet village under the starry sky. Santiago's boat rests at the shore, the skeleton of the Marlin still tied to it.
You're back. I was worried.
I caught him, Marlin, the biggest I've ever seen.
You'll teach me, won't you? We'll fish together again.
Yes, my boy, we'll fish together.
He may have lost the meat, but no one can deny his courage.
He's a true fisherman.
The sea is like a woman. She gives, she takes, and she tests. But if you love her, she always brings you back.